guys, I am Tara from livingonadime.com with my faithful assistant Heidi. She's our bouncer. She takes care of our comments. She keeps things nice.
Keep it nice.
Keeping it nice. She even has to keep me nice every now and then because I've occasionally had to tell some people to take some laxatives to calm themselves down. Heidi's like, Tara! I shouldn't have done it, but I was just
know
like...
when your frustration comes out, you know, I mean, that tells me you've read a little too many negative comments and your frustration is coming out.
You think when I tell people they need a laxative, it's a little...
It was a good laxative.
I was just like, might I suggest a laxative to free your colon of its bondage so then your head will be so clear that you won't be uptight anymore.
I was like, oh man, I should have been looking at comments earlier.
Well, and what happens is Heidi goes in and checks them, but then if I go in to check and something comes up, you know, it just kind of crosses. But anyway.
Not all negative comments get blocked, I guess. Most of them. So.
All right, so check out our Dining on a Dime cookbook. Today we are talking about gardening. Now, people don't really know this about me, but I'm actually a huge gardener. That's what I went to school for.
Gardener. I mean, I'm just this amateur over here.
I'm a master gardener in 2 states. I went to school for greenhouse management and landscape design. So actually gardening is my thing. How I ended up writing a cookbook, I don't know.
I mean, you don't really love cooking, but you love gardening and you wrote a cookbook.
I know, it makes absolutely no sense. But Heidi has a beauty. I mean, I have garden envy. I'm sorry, please forgive me. But you have a beautiful garden and you do spend a lot of work to get in your garden there. And so, but I wanted to talk to people because gardening can be a good way to save money and it cannot be a good way to save money. So we're going to do probably a series on this because I think this is going to kind of get a little long, but we're going to get started today. How did you get started with gardening and why did you start gardening?
Well, I'm a product of a Midwest, you know, farm families. Farming's gone back for generations. So I don't know, you just garden, you have a garden. Everyone puts in a garden.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people still garden around here, definitely.
Yeah.
Vegetable garden. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're in Minnesota, so it's easier to garden there because you at least have rain. Here in Colorado, it's a pain to garden because...
And I'm not gardening all year long.
No.
like June to August is really it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay. So do you feel that gardening actually saves you money on your grocery bill?
You know, when you brought this up with me, I kind of thought, I've never viewed it as a money saving thing. It's a hobby. Yeah, I would garden even if I didn't make money because I get exercise, I get to be outside, and the benefit is I get lots of fruits and vegetables. But when you ask me to maybe calculate what I save, I would say it probably saves with my very large garden a couple of $1,000 a year. Wow. So I don't buy any vegetables. I buy 0 vegetables from definitely end of May till September. Wow. No, even later because of all my winter squashes and stuff. I'm really not buying, I rarely buy vegetables because because
then you're eating the frozen ones too.
Yeah, because then, all my peppers and squashes and things like that, we put in the freezer. We grow all of our own sweet corn that we eat for the year. That goes in the freezer. But I also have a lot of fruit in my garden also. So we have a very large strawberry patch. I take about 50 gallons a year out of it. So yeah, there'll come a point where most of my freezer is strawberries. But so yeah, I planted blueberries this year for the first time. We have Honeycrisp apple trees that produce after 10 years, they produced for the first time last year. But I do get apples other places, and we have rhubarb and we have raspberries, we have asparagus. So we have perennial things that come back.
And how much time do you think it takes to do this garden between May and August?
I probably spend 10 to 15 hours a week. I do more than I have to because I just enjoy being out there. I could probably cut it back to maybe 5 hours a week and it would still produce well
But
for me.
think about that. You spend probably 15 weeks out of the year and you save probably what, $3,000 to $4,000 at least?
Yeah, that might be a little high.
$3,000?
Yeah, well, considering my strawberries, just those alone, 50 gallons of strawberries, what would those be retail?
Well, so I just did that video and I got 6-gallon bags of strawberries. And it was $60. So it was $10 for a gallon bag. And you got 50 of those?
Yeah, I usually get about 50, but then we eat, we eat so much.
So you saved 500 just in strawberries?
Okay. Yeah. And Honeycrisp apples. And yeah, it's the fruit that saves us the most money. Yeah.
So let's see. So I'm doing the calculations here. You spend 225 hours working, and we'll say you save $3,000. I'll bet you save, because see, we're going on ad prices. Most people go on normal prices. So really, I bet it would be like closer to $6,000. But let's just do our ad prices for $3,000 divided by 225. That's $13 an hour you earn.
Just from strawberry? Oh, no.
Just gardening, that's tax-free.
Yeah. And it's exercise.
It's exercise.
Take off my winter chub.
And you don't have to pay for daycare, and you don't have to pay for car. You don't have to pay for clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good pay, actually.
And I garden mainly because I'm kind of snobby and I only like, the things I grow. I will only eat my own sweet corn. I will not buy it from a truck. I will not buy it from a grocery store.
That's pretty good. So you basically do it as a hobby. How big is your garden?
Well, my main garden is 80 feet by 80 feet. And that's just the main garden. I have other areas that I plant, like an herb garden and the strawberries and the asparagus and the raspberries and the blueberries.
Okay. So. Oops, I just messed up the computer here. So 80 by 80 would be 6,400 square feet.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So is that an acre? I don't know how many.
No, isn't an acre is like.
No, an acre's no.
Like 22,000 or something.
No, that's right. So you've got just shy of a quarter acre.
In just that garden. The whole fenced-in garden area is probably a quarter to a third.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got about an eighth of an acre that's full garden stuff that you're doing all the time. Because I just realized our lot is 11,000 square feet and it's a quarter acre.
Okay.
So yeah, I just was thinking in that term. So do you think gardening is worth it? If
enjoy it.
if you enjoy it?
Yes.
So that's the caveat, guys. Here's the thing. We have people all the time. I'm in a big homesteading kind of community type thing. I love homesteading. I love old things. I just love all that stuff. But I love it. Now, my neighbor next door who can't even stand to have her feet in the grass without shoes on, I wouldn't suggest it for her.
Everyone should know how to garden because you never know when you might have to.
That's very true. And I do keep, for me, even though I haven't vegetable gardened, like I'll have a few tomatoes and stuff here, but I haven't done big time vegetable gardening for years, actually. Yeah. Just because I haven't lived in a place where I've been able to do it easily. Now, when I lived out in the country, I had a garden as big as yours. I was single at the time. But what I did, I took the produce because I didn't have a freezer. I was living on $300 a month. I didn't have a freezer.
Yeah.
I took the produce to the local restaurant and I exchanged meals for them. And this was when I was really, really sick with my chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, when I first got sick and I could hardly function. I was at home. I was bored to death, living on my own, bored to death, living out in the middle of nowhere. I literally lived in the middle of nowhere. And I needed something to do. So I would go garden for 5 minutes and rest. Garden for 5 minutes and rest. And I would literally sit down and just pull weeds. I was deathly sick, but I ended up with this beautiful garden even though I was really sick and could hardly function. And I traded it for meals in town. And then when I was not feeling well, I could just drive into town, get a meal, and I had all that credit. So there's different things that you can do with gardening. So I had a little farm stand one time where I sold it on the corner. I had a little box on the honor system. People put their money in and took my herbs and stuff.
A lot of people do that around here.
Yeah. So how much would you say you spend on gardening to get your garden up and going?
Just seeds and I mean,
Just seeds?
not. So where I live, we have nice black rich dirt. So I don't need raised beds or anything. I just plant in the ground. So, and you know, we have an abundance of leaves and organic material that I can add. That's all free. I always try and garden for free. I save seeds. So
how much do you spend on seeds a year? Do you know?
I probably buy $50 in seeds, but that's because I'm always wanting to try new things.
Yeah.
And
but
you know how it goes.
Then in one of our former videos, you sell your strawberry runners to people, and that pays for all your seeds.
Hey, definitely, yeah. Yep.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So do you think gardening's worth it?
It is definitely worth it. Everyone should know how to grow food.
Yeah.
We talked in an earlier video about Venezuela, and I just read this article that Venezuela was so into selling their oil as propping up their economy that they stopped food production. They were importing a lot of their food. And I think what a dangerous situation that was to stop producing food. Everyone should grow something, you know, grow some herbs on your patio, grow a tomato plant, grow something. You should know how to grow something.
Yeah, just do it in a container. Just get a container and just throw something in there and at least try and do some tomatoes or something, because it's good to just have that kind of under your belt just in case you ever need it.
Yeah, and it's good for your kids to know where food comes from and how the work that goes into. My son and I were transplanting lettuce starts yesterday, and we were talking about, this will be a head of lettuce, and this is how do you do it? How do you plant it? And it's good skills to know.
It is. All right, guys. So Heidi is the big gardener, and she's answered the question, is it worth it? Yes. But if you really hate gardening, I really wouldn't, I wouldn't do it, because really we have a similar grocery bill, and I don't garden and she does.
Yeah.
And we eat pretty similar. So I would say it's one of those things that if you enjoy doing it, go for it. But otherwise, you should know how, but don't.
I probably eat way too. I don't portion control fruits and vegetables in the summer. I eat way more than I should.
I'm the same way. I know. I'm the same.
I'm eating more than once. When I go out to my strawberry patch and there's fresh, warm, sunned strawberries, I'm eating more than a serving.
I'm totally with you on that one. Let me tell you.
2 weeks a year, so you live in your glory for those 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Please like, subscribe, and share. Check out our Dining on a Dime cookbook. Let us know in the description below if you like gardening, and if you do you find it saves you money? And we're going to do some more videos because we want to talk about canning and if it actually saves, and freezing if it actually saves, because I've got some issues with canning, and I know. So, and Heidi doesn't.
Change our shirts and we'll come back. 10 videos in the same shirt.
The good news is they come out about once a week, so it'll be all right. So,
all right.
All right.
So they'll be like, why haven't you changed your shirt in 10 weeks?
I know. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.